Jury selection for Donald Trump's hush money case begins next week, and the pool of jurors is expected to fill out a lengthy questionnaire.
They'll be asked a range of things, from if they listen to certain podcasts to if they follow groups like QAnon, that movement. Good Day's Briella Tomassetti is here now with the latest on what we can expect next week and the former president's latest efforts to postpone that trial. Briella, good morning.
Yeah, Dan and Tashani, looks like that's not happening. Former President Donald Trump's hush money case is the first of his 4 criminal indictments slated to go to trial, and this would be historic, the first criminal trial ever of a former president. Jury selection is slated to begin on April 15th, but as in any case, jurors will have to set aside their personal feelings and render a decision based on the evidence and the law. A New York appeals court judge has decided that Donald Trump's hush money trial will not be postponed. Justice Lizbeth Gonzalez handed down the ruling after hearing from Trump's lawyers and the Manhattan DA's office, which charged him with 34 counts of falsifying business records related to alleged hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels. The former president, who has pleaded not guilty to all counts, made a last-ditch effort to delay the trial as he fights to move the case out of Manhattan. He is suing Judge Juan Merchan, asking for a change in venue just 1 week before jury selection is scheduled to begin. In a separate filing, Trump challenged his gag order on the case. Merchan recently expanded that gag order after Trump lashed out at his daughter, a Democratic political consultant, on Truth Social. Merchan announced yesterday that prospective jurors will be asked if they've ever worked for the Trump campaign, whether they've ever attended a Trump rally, and whether they follow the former president on social media. Meanwhile, special counsel Jack Smith, who was appointed in 2022 to investigate Trump's alleged role in working to overturn the 2020 election results, is urging the Supreme Court to reject the former president's claim that he is immune from criminal prosecution. In a 66-page filing, Smith argued that there are no presidential powers which would entitle Trump to immunity. The Supreme Court agreed to hear that case the week of April 22nd. Trump's 34 counts of falsifying business records in the hush money case are punishable by up to 4 years in prison, but there's no guarantee that a conviction will result in any jail time. Dan, back to you.
Briella, thank you very much.